To be forewarned, this might be a long video, so you might want to grab a cup of tea or a snack or a glass of wine, a glass of water, I don't know. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming an updated Hermes journey video. So this is going to be continuing on from the last video that I filmed, which was at the very end of last year, December 2019, and I think I uploaded it at the very beginning of 2020. So yeah, this is continuing on from that. Before I dive into the video, if you are new here and you aren't already subscribed to my channel, then I would love if you would hit that subscribe button below and also the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos, which is twice a week on a Wednesday and on a weekend. I talk all about Hermes, I talk all about luxury and fashion and all that jazz. So if you've clicked on this video, you're probably obviously into Hermes and luxury, so I do suggest that you subscribe if you like to. Now, before I dive into all the details about my Hermes journey video, continuing on from the last one, I just wanted to let you guys know that because, of course, you are watching an Hermes video, I wanted to let you know that my coupon code with 7 Rue Paradis is still valid. So 7 Rue Paradis is the only company that I recommend for inserts for your Hermes bag. So I have here the Birkin 30 insert, which is in Etoupe for my Etoupe Birkin 30. And then I also have the insert for the Kelly 25 Return, which is in the color Gris Tourterelle. So I do have a coupon code with them. It is still valid. I love working with them. I stand by 100% their inserts. Their quality is the best that you can get for your Hermes bags, and I'll just show you an example in a moment. But yeah, the code is POF30 to get €30 off. And then if you're going to be needing two inserts by any chance, then I do have a code for €70 off, which is POF70. Now, the example that I wanted to show you and why I say that when it comes to your Hermes bags, only use the 7 Rue Paradis inserts. Otherwise, you could use the Hermes 4B inserts, but they are very, very expensive and they don't have like pockets or anything like that, whereas the 7 Rue Paradis inserts do have pockets inside for organization. They also help with the storage of your bags, so I just leave them inside the handbags and put them in my closet, store them upright. They help with storage. What I was saying was that I tried a felt insert from another company for my Hermes Picotin, but unfortunately at the time that I'm filming this video, 7 Rue Paradis doesn't have an insert for the Picotin. However, I found out they are going to be making one, so thank goodness, okay? But anyways, yeah, I bought a felt insert and I'm just showing you for the video. It is inside the bag right now, but I'm not using it. I've just turned off some of the studio lights so you can see what I'm talking about. So there is a felt insert inside this bag, and why I am not going to use this insert, no way would this stay inside my bag, no way will I use it, is because look what happens. You see that? You see these? Oh gosh, that's scary. I hate even having it in right now just to show you guys. And I've had it in for about 5 minutes and I've been freaking out the whole time. You see these impression marks that are coming through from the felt? That is what happens with other inserts. Other inserts will do that to you, not just felt, but even other inserts as well. There is a high risk with any other company that does inserts for the Hermes bags that they do these impression marks. What happens is if you actually leave this in the bag for a long period of time, even if you use it for a whole day like this will very likely permanently damage the leather and you'll have this impression mark. So I'm gonna take this out because there's no way I wanna leave this inside the bag. That's terrible. Look, yeah. Just stick with 7 Rue Paradis. Protect the inside of your bag. Hermes doesn't spar the inside of your bag. They're just the best inserts you can get. They are worth the money. I just wanted to forewarn you that this might be a long video. I have quite a lot of information to cover. This is a continuance on of my Hermes journey from my last video. So I do have already 2 videos on my channel. The very first one I uploaded, which was back in, I think it was early 2019. I was still new to YouTube. And then my next one, which was December 2019. So I definitely suggest that you watch those 2. So you've got an idea of pretty much like where I'm at, like my experience with my Hermes journey and all that sort of stuff. Now I just wanted to cover as well why I film these videos, because I don't think there's anyone else that really talks in detail about their Hermes journey, especially when it comes to like, you know, buying your dream bags from the store. And I do buy from the resale market as well, so that's included too. But the reason I film this is primarily to be transparent and honest, because when it comes to Hermes, it is quite a mystery and there is just no, like hardly any information out there, and people want to know like what it can be like shopping from the store. My journey isn't exactly an easy journey, unfortunately. Some people have had a blissful time. My first elusive bag I ever scored was different. It was very blissful. It was quite easy. It was a great experience. However, after that, it has been much harder to be able to get my dream bags, and it has been kind of, in some ways, when you listen to the journey, you think it's like, you would think it's very stressful, which it is. It does get stressful at some point, but it isn't always stressful the whole way throughout, and there are just, you know, peaks and, you know, that sort of thing. But anyways, look, I just wanted to say that's why I film these videos, to be transparent and honest, and give to share my journey and give some information to you guys, hopefully to be helpful, you know, as to whether you decide you want to, you know, shop at the store to score your dream bags, you know, that sort of thing. But it's not just about that in a nutshell. I love Hermes. I love it as a house. I love their bags, not just the Birkin and the Kelly and the Constance. I love all their other bags. I love their items. I love their shoes. I love their shoes. I'm addicted to their Orans. I love them. You know, I love their silks. I'm addicted to their Twillies. I have so many Twillies. I love Twillies. So much about Hermes that I love. I don't just shop there to score the bags, but obviously I love Hermes, so I love all the items that I buy. I buy what I love, but I love the Birkin, the Kelly, the Constance too. So yes, of course I want to score the dream bags. My journey isn't going to be comparable to everyone. My journey doesn't mean that it'd be the same journey for you. Yours might be different. Mine's definitely not comparable to, like, say, shopping at FSH, where you can score without even buying anything. But then again, that can even be drama filled as well, apparently. You know, and my journey is definitely not comparable to a lot of places in the US. The US is very different, but I'm going to talk in detail about that somewhat in the video, because I have had some of that addressed to me. But yeah, that's why I film these videos. Okay, so I think I've covered that off. Let's get into all the points that I wanted to talk about to recap on my last Hermes journey video. Okay, so continuing on from my last Hermes journey video, I think I mentioned in that video that I was letting go of my Constance 18 and Blue Electric. So yeah, I did end up selling that outright to the Purse Affair. Thank goodness I was able to sell it outright. I did make a loss, unfortunately. That was because, I think I've covered this already anyway, I bought the bag at the time where the Constance 18 wasn't really surging in popularity, especially in colors and Cadillac leather. So I feel like the price I paid, even though it was somewhat fair at the time, because the Constance 18 was still a very hard bag to get, like the Constance in general was a hard bag to get at the time, but now that has changed. The Constance isn't as hard to get as what it was before. So I did lose around about just over $3,000 Australian on selling that. I probably wouldn't have lost as much if I had been patient enough to just sell it, like consign it in Australia and sell it. However, I had already tried to consign it in the US, and I just decided, look, it's been more than 6 months. I'm tired of waiting for this bag to sell. It is annoying me. So I decided to just sell it outright, and I feel as though the Purse Affair did give me a very fair price. Now, the lessons that I learned from that situation was, don't compromise, especially on color. At the time, I actually wanted a Constance 18, but I wanted a neutral, but they were like $17,000 Australian that it would have cost me, even more. And I decided, look, you know, maybe it's time for me to go for a color again. You know, it's been a while since I've had a colored bag. But yeah, it didn't work out for me. Blue Electric, royal blues are not my color. And I should have known that, because I don't even wear like royal blue colors. I wear navy blue or really light baby blues, but I don't wear like royal blue. I hardly ever wear it. So I should have known that. But that was my mistake, is that I compromised on the color. I feel as though it's okay to sometimes compromise on the size of the bag. I feel like that can still work out, providing it's not too much of a size compromise. Say, like, you know, you wanted a Kelly 25, you get a Kelly 28. I feel like that's not that big of a deal. But definitely when it comes to color, that's an obvious thing. Color stands out on a bag. It's the thing that everyone sees is the color. So I feel like when it comes to color, you really shouldn't compromise. Stick with the color that you really want, and then you should be fine. Generally, you should be fine, unless your style changes, but that's a whole different thing. Okay, so that is my update when it comes to that bag. The other thing that I needed to update you on, obviously in the resale market, and if you have watched my video, I did buy a bag in the resale market to date. When I am filming this video, I did. And that is my beautiful push present to myself. the Constance 24 in Rose Azalee. This is such a beautiful bag. I absolutely love the color of this bag. The Constance 24, I do love it in Evercolor leather. If this was in Epsom, I wouldn't have even bought it, because me and Epsom on a structured bigger bag like this, we do not get along. Been there, down that road, done that before, not doing that again. So in Evercolor leather, I do absolutely love it for this size. I got this from Ginza Zayoma. Hermes Ginza Zayoma is the Instagram name, but they do have a Japanese consignment store called Ginza Zayoma. They're obviously based in Ginza. I paid around about 14,800 Australian dollars for this, and the recommended retail price on the Constance 24 in Evercolor is around about 16,300, if not maybe like 16,400. So I did save on the recommended retail price, which is great. That's always good. I saved over $1,500 Australian, and I bought it in like pretty much like new condition. It was like new. There was no scratches on the buckle, nothing. Like there wasn't even a mark on the bag. So to me, it was pretty much 99% new. Look, at the moment, I am thinking about selling this bag, but I'm not really bothered to actually fully list it for sale. And that's because I actually still really love the bag. I love the color. Oh, I love the color. The size of the bag, I'm totally fine with, especially because it's in Evercolor leather. I like to double strap it, sit it on the shoulder. I even wear it crossbody. So I love this bag. Like, I'm not thinking of selling it because I don't love it, but out of all the bags that I have, it's the one that I feel like is easily replaceable because of the color. I bought this for the color. I wanted Rose Azalee, and Rose Azalee is a really easy color to find. So I was thinking of selling it to fund getting a horseshoe stamp bag. I was thinking of selling it for that reason, because the horseshoe stamp bag is really crazy expensive. If I were to go and buy one in the resale market, it is easily over $21,000 Australian. So don't think I'm selling it because it's got anything to do with that it's a Constance 24. It doesn't. It's just because I know that I bought it primarily for the color, and I know that I could easily add a Rose Azalee bag again. It is easy to find it in the resale market, and I would never let go of my Birkin 30 or my Kelly 25. I love those bags, and I love the colors. So, and also in the resale market, neutrals always fetch a high premium, whereas this, I know that, yeah, like I said, I could just buy another Rose Azalee bag, even another Constance 24 again later on down the track. But yeah, I'm thinking of selling it. If you are interested, let me know. And there's going to be a big Hermes price increase next year, I reckon, as well. Now, at the end of the Hermes journey video that I filmed last time, my wish list, I spoke about that I wanted a neutral Kelly 25 or Kelly 28 or a Birkin 25, but it had to be in a neutral color. I still would like that from the store. I would love that. However, I'm now definitely loving more and more colors, no doubt about it. Since I got the Rose Azalee bag, it has totally opened up my eyes to colors. So now I have no problem integrating colors into my wardrobe, providing they're the kind of colors that I really do like. So I love the cricket at the moment. I love that color so much. I love blue broom. Yeah, there are just so many colors that I'm really opening up my eyes to. I love jaune amber. That's like a yellowy mustardy kind of color. Soufre, that's a really light pastel yellow. Celeste, that's a bright, vibrant candy kind of blue. There are so many colors that I love. So yeah, look, I still would love a neutral Kelly or Birkin from the store, but I'm also open to colors. So that's kind of you know, a bit of a twist to where I was at in my last video, into how it's sort of like it's kind of changed now with my current status, what I would like from the boutique. Also, to quickly recap on where I'm at when it comes to sales associates, because I did say in my last video that I was up to my 5th sales associate. That is still the case. I am up to my 5th sales associate. Now, to also just give a quick recap on the situation that I've had with sales associates, because being up to 5 is actually quite a lot. I have actually been shopping with the store for around about 4 years now. The first bag that was offered to me was by my first sales associate. She was fabulous. And then I had my 3rd sales associate was the one that actually offered to me this particular bag. The sales associate that offered me this, like the 3rd one, she actually left the store, so I ended up picking this up from my then 4th sales associate. And I had spent with her, like the 4th sales associate, I spent with her $3,800 pretty much after I bought this bag. and I spent that on like a silver jewelry, like fine jewelry but silver, twillies, shoes, and fashion jewelry. But then after about a few months, she left. So that's why I'm up to my 5th sales associate. This year, January 2020, has been a pretty crappy year. We all know it. It's not been a good year. I've only actually been to the boutique 3 times this year because I was pregnant, and obviously with the pandemic I didn't want to be going into the boutique, and then they stopped, well, they shut for a period of time. So I've only been to the store 3 times to the point of when I'm filming this video, so from January up until now, which is start of September. So from this year, the bags that I've managed to get from the boutique, and I've actually been very lucky, I feel, with the bags that I've managed to score from the boutique, and pretty much every time I went to the boutique I've managed to get a bag. Yeah, I have. And I've got some what we would consider in Australia rare bags, because we do not get the same amount of stock that France gets or the US gets. We definitely don't. We only make up 2% of the boutiques worldwide in Australia. So Australia makes up only 2% of the 100% of Hermes boutiques. So we are tiny. We are like tiny little ants on the scale of priority when it comes to stock issuing. So that hopefully puts it in a bit of perspective as to probably why my Hermes journey is always a little bit difficult. So I did score January 2020 this year a beautiful mini roulis in Berenia Forberg leather. So this is a heritage leather for Hermes. I got this from my current sales associate. This is all going to be bags that I got from my current sales associate. So I am super thrilled that I got this from her. This is hard to get in Australia, the Berenia mini roulis. Mini roulis is still actually hard to get in general in Australia. It's not a quota bag, however, I kind of feel like I got treated like one because I definitely didn't score any Birkin or Kelly since. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's a very rare, beautiful bag. I'm super happy with this because as someone who is an avid lover of Hermes, I love the heritage, I love everything about the equestrian history of the brand, all of that. So Berenia is the fantastic leather to own for someone who considers themselves a fanatic on Hermes. And then the next bag that I scored was actually in July this year, and it was my birthday bag, and it is a Bolide 27 in Cray in gold hardware as well. And anyone who's familiar with Hermes knows that Cray is a very popular, desirable, neutral. Everyone loves the color Cray. It is a light color, so it isn't for everyone, but everyone appreciates this color. It's very desirable, very sought after, very, very popular. So yeah, I'm very thrilled with this bag. This is the perfect kind of birthday bag for me. Even though I said in the video that I would have preferred, like I wanted a Birkin or Kelly or Constance for a birthday bag, obviously, like who doesn't? But this was on my wish list. I wanted a Bolide, so maybe it was meant to be. Maybe I was meant to get this first so as to not miss out, on the perfect specs of a Bolide bag, because I couldn't have picked any better combo to get for the Bolide 27. So I am very happy with this. And then the third bag that I managed to score from the boutique from my lovely sales associate is the Pinkerton 18 in blue pale with gold hardware. So I scored this very recently. I only got it in August last month, and this was kind of a continuance from my birthday bag because there was still no Birkin, Kelly or Constance for me, and I had been asking for a bag in blue broom, and she didn't have anything in blue broom because, again, Australia, we're like the needle in the haystack. They don't really care about us when it comes to stock. We're not a priority. We get everything late. So we pretty much have hardly had anything from the spring summer 2020 colors, and we are now in fall winter 2020 for colors. So if we get any kind of stock, anything left over from spring summer 2020, it's probably not going to be much at all. And we didn't get blue pale yet. We didn't get blue broom yet. So she did offer me the blue pale Pinkerton, and I'm very happy with it. I love it. It's a beautiful baby blue. Still very, very thrilled that these were my birthday bags. I am really, really happy with them. The both of them combined are still less than the cost of a Birkin or a Kelly, and they're equivalent of the cost of a Constance 18 anyway. So I'm very happy with these bags. These are great for birthday bags. And honestly, like I said, you know, would have preferred the latter, but I'm so thrilled that I have these. Just super happy. Okay, so I'm very grateful this year. Even though it hasn't worked out to get a Birkin, Kelly or Constance from the store, I still have scored 3 fantastic bags. So just to keep that in mind, like even though like your journey, if your journey is anywhere similar to mine and you know you feel like you wait forever for Birkin, Kelly or Constance, maybe try other bags as well. They've got some beautiful bags, you know, maybe try requesting something else and you'll probably find that your sales associate is more than willing to help you out. Okay, so let's talk total spend if my son is going to let me. Okay, so the total spend is not going to include bags because at my particular store, they do not count bags as like, I don't know, like pre-spending kind of needed to score a Birkin or a Kelly. We all know that you have to pre-spend to get a Birkin or a Kelly or a Constance. It's just how it works. There's very few cases of anyone scoring without pre-spending unless it's at FSH. I would put that down to the fact that there is just very high competition at my store, and that's why they just don't count bags, because bags is very minimal, if not any, maybe not any commission for the sales associate at my particular store. We're just gonna say the total spend first that I have spent with both sales associates. So both sales associates, since I scored my Birkin 30, I have spent $20,269. That's Australian dollars, not US dollars, Australian dollars. Everything I'm saying is in Australian dollars, okay? Just because otherwise you're going to look at the figure and go, that's absolutely insane. Well, it is absolutely insane regardlessly, but it's Australian dollars, so it's not as bad as if it was actually US dollars. Now, in that spend, with the current SA that I'm with, the current sales associate, my fifth one, I have spent $16,449, because like I said, it really only matters, to me, I feel like it really only matters what you spend with your current sales associate, the one that's going to be the one that puts forward for you to get a bag, unless it's your first bag, which is totally different, okay? Total spend, there has been some rodeos. I have bought some rodeos, and I believe that they don't count towards any of your pre-spending because they're a hot item, they're an easy sell. So if I were to minus the rodeos, the total that I have spent with the store is $18,279 with both the sales associates. If I were to just minus that from the current sales associate, because she's actually the only one I have bought rodeos from, then it's $14,459. So with the current sales associate minus the rodeos, I spent $14,459 with her on non-bags. So it's still a very substantial amount. We're pretty much at 1-to-1 the cost of a bag right now, because I believe that the Birkin 25 is like pretty much that. It's like 14,300 and something, like, so I'm at 1-to-1 the cost of the bag. If I were to count, you know, like I said, the other sales associate, I'm at $18,000. So what I have actually bought in that spend is, all up, I have bought mainly shoes. I think I bought about 6 pairs of shoes, 4 SLGs, a few fashion jewelry pieces, around about 10 silk items, mostly twillies, because I'm absolutely crazy for twillies, and that also includes any scarf ring sort of thing. Then I bought a lipstick, and like I said, the 3 rodeos. I'm sorry, you could probably hear my son. There's nothing I can do about it. You just, like, he's a baby and he's trying to talk and he's going crazy talking, so I'm sorry if you can also hear that. Obviously, you know, given what I've said, that I haven't scored my dream bag yet. I haven't scored my next one. It's been 20 months to date from when I'm filming this video, and I have actually been asking my sales associate. I've been asking. I probably asked, I don't know, maybe 6 times in the past 20 months. I probably asked about it. And I probably brought it up even more than that in very loose ways, you know what I mean? But I've definitely firmly asked 6 times for a Birkin or a Kelly or a Constance. And I have been very open with my choices. I haven't been like I haven't been like everyone who's asking for a Birkin, a Birkin 25 in gold with gold hardware, or a Kelly 25 in gold with gold hardware. I haven't been that person. I've been quite open in, like, you know, in choices. So it's definitely not that I'm picky, that's for sure. But I wanted to say that something that I've definitely observed at my store is that lately I have noticed that they have been offering quite a lot of bags to new clients. Yeah. So, and even after they reopened the new boutique in Australia, in New South Wales, they opened a new store, and I've seen that they've just offered quite a fair amount to clients that are new, that have only started their journey even late last year, or they started their journey this year. I even know of some people that have managed to score 2 bags this year, even though they only started their journey late last year. Look, you know, it's congratulations to them. Like, that's awesome. That's lucky on you. It's kind of shitty on me because I know that I've been loyal to the store for 4 years, being a regular customer. So, you know, you can't help but feel like a bit annoyed by that. But like I said, you know, in a nutshell, of course I would have liked to have scored my next dream bag, because I do feel like I'm very loyal, and I do feel what actually makes me different as well to a lot of clients is that I really appreciate the heritage of Hermes. I know all about their heritage leathers. I know all about their history. I'm not buying these bags just to show that I have the most expensive handbags or anything like that. Definitely not. The craftsmanship of an Hermes bag feels like no other handbag in my opinion, and that's why I absolutely love Hermes. And that is why I don't just try to score my bags at the store. I do buy and resell because I love their bags so much. And to me, it has never been about status, nothing like that. It's just that I've fallen so in love with the brand. And I think that's because I had started my luxury journey so young. I started working at a very young age. Since 15, even before 15, I was already working, and I had been buying luxury goods since that. So I had tried so many other brands that when it came to a point where I felt stagnant, and then I started to research Hermes and I learned about the house before I even bought my first Hermes bag, I just became fully invested in the brand, and I fell deeply in love with so much about the brand. So that's why I feel that I am different to some of the clients, but I know for a fact that there are a lot of other clients at Hermes that totally appreciate the craftsmanship. They know about the history, they know about everything with the brand, they're fully invested in it. I know that there are lots of people like that. So it does feel disheartening when you are the kind of client that really appreciates the brand, not just for the fact that, you know, you want to flash the most expensive handbag brand, you know, that kind of thing. It does feel disheartening when you do have to wait so long to score the next dream bag. But that is the reality of it. That is my reality. Might not be everyone's reality. Other people might find that it's not that stressful, not that difficult for them to get their next dream bag. I know that there is. I've seen YouTube videos. I've seen people unbox their dream bags and not having to spend much money, you know, particularly in the US. So maybe I should just move. No, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I have noticed that this year they have been offering a lot to new clients. Maybe that's because perhaps next year there's going to be a massive increase and they want to build more clientele. Maybe that's just a sales strategy for them. Just wanted to recap some points as to why I think perhaps it has been a bit difficult, my Hermes journey, and why it typically takes 2 years for me to score, you know, my dream bag. And some of the points that I put down is that the first point is that I don't shop in the very top tier categories for commission for the sales associate. I don't buy fine jewelry. I've only ever bought one fine jewelry and it was a silver piece. It wasn't even gold. I don't buy ready to wear and I don't buy homewares. That's not to say that I won't in the future. There are some pieces that I do like from each of those sections, but they're not typically the kind of sections that I really buy in. I'm mostly shoes and twillies. I love shoes and I love twillies and I love rodeos and I love their fashion jewelry. That's just how it is. But yeah, I don't buy in those three top tier categories. The second point is that I'm saying this in a loose way, I haven't had a great relationship with the sales associate since my first and my third sales associate. And I'm not saying that the relationship I have with my current sales associate is bad. It is not bad. She's great. I get along with her, you know, and we have a lot of common interests as well. But I feel as though the relationship I had with my first sales associate and my third felt kind of different. My first one, we were the exact same age. I think she was only like a few months younger than me, but she'd also come from France, so she'd come here on a working visa. And she was a trainee, and we just clicked on a whole different level. Like, we both love makeup as well, so we could talk about makeup brands. We just really clicked. So the relationship I had with her was different. And then the third sales associate I had, we clicked on a passion for Hermes on that kind of level, because her mother loves her Hermes. So she grew up with Hermes. She grew up with a box Kelly. Her mother had a Kelly box calf bag, and she grew up loving the house. So we clicked on that kind of level because she knew that I knew a lot about Hermes, and I knew a lot about their heritage and their heritage leathers and how the house began. She knew that I knew all of that, so we clicked on that kind of level. Whereas my current sales associate, my fifth one, we get along, no doubt about it. We have a great relationship. We talk, we chat, we have common interests, but it just doesn't feel the same as the other ones. So yeah, that could be why. That could be why, because I feel like sometimes when it comes to Hermes, it really has to do with that kind of relationship that you have as well. And then quite obviously how the store kind of runs as well, because really ultimately the sales associates do not have the final say as to whether you get a handbag or not. It is the store manager, okay? The third point I have is that where I shop is extremely stiff competition. Where I shop, it's in Sydney. It is the absolute powerhouse of the Australian economy. So there is definitely an abundance of wealthy people that live in Sydney, and there are definitely a lot of people that have well-paying jobs in Sydney. Like I said, it's the powerhouse of the Australian economy. So that really just says it all. Like maybe if I were to shop at a different boutique in Australia, in a different state, I might have a different experience overall. So I think this can be relatable to other people. Like say if you are based in the US, but you live in say a city like, I don't know, if you live in San Francisco perhaps or something like that, or even if you, I don't know, shop in Hollywood or something, maybe there is very stiff competition. So maybe even that can be relatable. My journey might be similar to yours because there is such stiff competition. And that's just the way it is. If there is a lot of clients that are trying to score these bags, that would quite logically, when it comes to analytical mind, that would decrease your odds in being able to score frequently as well. Just being logical here. Now the next point I have is that, and I brought this up already too, is that Australia makes up only 2% of the Hermes boutiques worldwide. So stock here is very, very different than to what it is in France and the US and even the UK as well. So 2% is a very tiny number. If that's all that we make up for the Hermes stores worldwide, then that's pretty self-explanatory as to why we just do not get the same kind of stock levels, and we have a very high demand in my particular store, and we just don't get stock levels to even try and meet that demand. So that's the reality of it. The next point, point number 5, is that this isn't my first bag that I'm trying to score, and I've said that the first bag is usually very different. This is my third bag that I'm wanting to get. I'm wanting to get my next third dream bag. So I'm a longer term client, and it is a little bit difficult the more years that you've kind of been shopping with the store and you become a regular client. Maybe if I'd been shopping with the store for 15 years, it might be different, but yeah, I feel like when you become a regular client, it does get a little bit difficult. The 6th point I have is that perhaps I have expressed at sometimes, not all the time, I have expressed that I ideally wanted a Kelly 25 or 28 in a Celia or a Birkin 25 in rose gold hardware. So a Celia handbag is very sought after and desirable in the Kelly 25 especially, and also the Kelly 28, and then the Birkin 25 with rose gold hardware is harder to come by as well. So I think perhaps because I'm also specifying that those are what I would really ideally want, it might be making it a bit harder. However, I have said that I'm open to return as well, and I have said that I'm open to other hardware as well for the Birkin 25. It's just that when you kind of do suggest that that's your preference, sometimes that's just what they hound in on, and that's what they want to make sure that they try and offer you what you really prefer. And I can't blame them, because they want to make sure that you are getting the kind of bag that you really want and love. And then finally, point number 7 is that I had to start over with a new sales associate. This is my 5th sales associate. She wasn't the one that offered me my last bag. It was my 3rd, and then my 4th I moved on to, and she left. And then, you know, I'm up to my 5th. So I haven't had a consistent sales associate throughout my journey, and that must obviously be why it has been more difficult for me. If I had the same sales associate throughout the past 4 years, perhaps it wouldn't have been such a stressful journey at times. That pretty much wraps up everything. There's not really much else that I have to sort of say. There is one thing that I wanted to kind of touch on, and that's because I had this comment in my video about my Bleed 27, and it was, look, the person was probably being a little bit negative, but I'm just going to take it as is and use that as an actual example. And they were talking about the fact that I wanted a Birkin or a Kelly as my birthday bag, but then I had to compromise. I had to take the Bleed 27 instead. So I spent all this money and I didn't even get the bag that I wanted. There is fact in that. I spent a lot of money and I didn't get a Birkin or a Kelly. I did want a Bleed 27 though. That was on my wish list. Now, this person then compared my situation to another YouTuber who is based in the US, who was able to score 2 bags in a span of, I think, you know, maybe 10 months or something like that, without having to do much pre-spending. My analytical point of view on that is that they probably had a fantastic sales associate. They definitely did. And they probably had a very great relationship with their sales associate. However, another thing that I also want to point out is that when it comes to the US, it is not comparable to Australia. Like I said, we make up only 2% of the boutiques worldwide, but also in the US, they have a lot of Hermes stores. And there are stores in the US that well, primarily they have more tourists that shop there to try and score bags as well than what they have local clients. And obviously due to the pandemic, there is hardly any tourism happening. No one is able to travel from overseas, and even people from interstate aren't wanting to move around. So logically, when we look at this, we take a step back and we analyze the situation, there are going to be boutiques in the US where it is going to be easier to score a Birkin, Kelly or Constance with less pre-spending than usual, because of the fact that they're going to have obviously they're going to have the stock that they typically get, but they're not getting as many tourists coming in that would typically be spending to try and score these bags and whatnot. And there's also less people spending as well because of the pandemic, logically. So that would be why my journey is definitely not going to be comparable to the whole of anyone's experience in the US, or anyone's experience in France for that matter, or anyone's experience in the UK. You know what? My journey can still be comparable to locations that have had and always have more local clients than tourist clients. Like, they have an abundance of local clients that shop there. Like, maybe mine's more comparable to that, because those people that shop at that store where they have so many local clients, there's such stiff competition, might find that it is harder to sort of get their next dream bag. Maybe my journey is more comparable to them. Okay, so I think that I've kind of addressed that. Yeah, I don't want to go on any further. I think that this video has been long enough. But yeah, that's it. I'm done. All right, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.